If you're a video editor, designer, or any kind of creative pro, you've probably felt that you're amazing at your craft, but back and forth with your boss, clients, coworkers is starting to drain you. Endless revisions, unclear feedback, projects that get stuck in limbo. And for most of us creatives, the problem holding us back is not our technical skills, but it's our communication. Over the past 15 years working in multimedia, I've been able to work as a producer, graphic designer, content creator, lead video editor. Now I'm finally running my own freelance business. In doing so, I've made every communication mistake in the book, but I've been able to learn through trial and error. I've learned from managers, coworkers, and designers even more experienced than me. So I've been able to learn habits that help stop some of that chaos, make you look like a true professional, and actually get people to trust in your expertise. So in this video, I'm giving you 5 simple communication hacks that will save you time, reduce stress, and even help you take back control of some of your projects. Always keep in mind that people naturally interpret messages far more negatively than what you intend.
Whatever. Like I said, whatever?
So don't add to it. A lot of creatives accidentally make things sound worse than they actually are, so avoid negative terminology altogether and focus on solutions and what can actually be done. This is even good practice in copywriting. Avoid words like unfortunately, wasn't, doesn't, won't, or phrases that can come across as negative, like that's out of scope, or that's going to take a lot of time. You get the picture. And yes, there will be plenty of times where something's not going to work or you get asked to do something unreasonable, but respond by leading with the solution and presenting what's possible and not focusing on the problem. For example, you could say something like, that change requires a few extra steps. If you're okay with extending the deadline, I can make it happen. Or simply, here's what I can do within this project, and I'm happy to discuss in more detail. Or if you need to steer someone in the right direction, respond with recommendations, like, to make this work with mobile, I'd recommend we do it this way. So the bottom line is remember you're there to make things easier for your client and focus on solutions and what can be done. This is by far one of the most common mistakes I see creatives make is not providing details or specifics when sending back updates or revisions. Even if revisions were already listed out in the previous email, when sending back updates, provide a quick recap and confirmation of exactly what's been updated. Far too often I see creatives responding simply with revisions complete or updated, or here's the updated file. You don't need to write an essay, just a simple summary or bullet points. This is even an opportunity to provide some additional details and insights like, we also tested on mobile and desktop to make sure it's responsive. There's usually extra steps involved that the client may not know about. It shows the client that you have attention to detail and care about the work. And sometimes even more importantly, it quietly teaches them what goes into the work. And it gives you a record of updates that you can look back on later. So for tiny fixes, keep it short. For anything that took real effort, recap it with a short summary. So this is something I wish I implemented a lot sooner in my career. It's a very unique way to stand out and provide extra value for just a few extra minutes of your time. When you're sending major updates or even a final deliverable, don't just send the file. Send a personal narrated screen capture video walking the client through what you've done. And this is especially helpful when you're dealing with websites or complex projects that need a lot of explanation. So for one, you're being proactive and it helps to cut down on having to jump on meetings and everyone can review on their own time. And it starts to become extremely efficient the quicker you get about creating them. Probably the most important thing is that explaining visual or technical changes in an email can often lead to confusion and misunderstandings. But a simple 2-minute video can replace 3 paragraphs of instruction and preempt clarifying questions. It also gives you the opportunity to explain additional context on the why behind your creative decisions. Something that can seem defensive in an email can actually sound thoughtful and professional in a video walkthrough. So for your client, it's added value. They feel taken care of, you're able to provide additional education, they get context they wouldn't have otherwise, and ultimately it makes them more confident and familiar with the work. Nowadays you can do this extremely easily. You could use simple tools like Loom, Camtasia, or even the 3 built-in screen recorder on your computer, or OBS Studio has a screen capture option that's free. So just hit record, share your screen, talk through and show the key changes or features of your project. Remember, this isn't a formal presentation, it's a friendly, over-the-shoulder look that helps build huge trust and clarity for maybe 10 minutes of your time. And it makes you look like you're operating on a different level. Reply fast, decide slow. I used to feel like I had to answer and review everything immediately and stressed out all the time about getting back to people ASAP, or delay responses completely until I could give it my undivided attention. What works way better for one is to set email response time in your day. You could do this at the beginning, middle, end of the day, and simply respond quickly with a simple acknowledgement. Then you can provide a thoughtful response later. This is great for any type of communication, honestly. For example, you could send a simple message like, got it, thank you, I'll review everything thoroughly and get back to you by Thursday. Or, this is great information, let me think through the best approach and I'll send options tomorrow. Now they know you're responsive and you've got their back, but you've given yourself room to think and make a decision properly. And another good thing to do is set communication expectations up front. So when working with a new client or a new project, let them know your typical communication time. So you could say something like, my normal response time is 1 to 2 business days. So you can respond quickly, but take your time with major decisions. Don't forget to set timelines both ways. Most of us are good about promising when we'll deliver something and setting a timeline for projects, but we often forget is to set timelines for our clients' deliverables and when they need to respond with feedback or revisions. If you skip this, projects can stretch out for months. Revisions pile up, urgency gets lost, the whole thing turns into a nightmare. Ask me how I know. So simply build it into your emails, proposals, and most importantly, your service agreement. And you keep the messaging simple, like in order to stay on schedule, please send feedback within 14 days. Or I can keep this project in my active queue for 7 days. If feedback comes later, the overall timeline will shift. You're not being rude, you're setting expectations so the project stays on track. And your calendar doesn't get wrecked by slow responses. So to recap, here are the 5 simple communication hacks that will save you time, reduce stress, and help you take back control of your projects. So number 1, avoid any negative wording and lead with solutions. 2, don't just say updated. Give a short recap of what you've changed. 3, provide video walkthroughs to make you stand out about your project or update. 4, reply quickly with an acknowledgement, then take your time with major decisions. 5, set clear timelines for both your work and the client's feedback. Last but not least, stay positive. You're there to help and make people's lives better, and always try to over-deliver. Feel free to reach out anytime, drop a comment, and I'll try to help out. Thank you for watching, and happy creating, everyone.